Well, hello, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to this. So that's what we're doing, AME Church, where I am your co-pastor.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus.
Where your co-pastor is Leah Henry and Candiace Dillard Bassett. She's also the evangelist of the hour. Just kidding. Welcome to the podcast.
Give me a shundo. Listen, as I sip my fermented juice, this is not of God. Let me stop.
Well, you know what? Listen, everything we are going to talk about today is not of God. Speaking of the fact that last week, President Joe Biden signed Juneteenth into the federal holiday calendar.
Hallelujah. We did it, Joe. We did it, Joe. We did it. And in celebration and in commemoration, please get into my Shirley Chisholm tea.
Okay.
Get into it.
Okay.
For the culture, I'm giving you Auntie Shirley, Ancestor Shirley, Sister Shirley. Okay.
No. Well, I got my t-shirt to the side I got ready in. It's the melon for me. And these are all my
Look at her trying to put it on.
At LeahHenry.com. It's the melanin for me.
Leah,
t-shirts.
That is janky. That is so janky. Okay, yes, it's the melanin for me. And Auntie Shirley Chisholm, the first Black woman to run for president. She set the tone and the tenor for the people. She walked so that Black women could run in the political sphere. Okay. Listen, that part. So we celebrate and thank her. And Uncle Joe, because I refer to President Joe Biden as Uncle Joe. When I worked at the White House, he was vice president. And even back then, we called him Uncle Joe.
I forgot you knew all them. I forgot you was.
Joe is my uncle, honey. He's my uncle. Okay. So yes, we are excited. But I mean, we're excited, but there are also a few saints who are maybe perhaps a little perturbed about this new federal holiday that we are now getting. Juneteenth is becoming a federal holiday, and the saints, the girls are fighting.
The girls are fighting. I'm confused. Okay, so I obviously grew up in Texas, which is where the last slaves found out that they were free. And so, as a kid,
1865,
Juneteenth was like a very big deal. Like in Austin, we would have a parade. We would have it was a celebration for Black people. And I just, I really grew up loving Juneteenth. And when I came to the East Coast, I had a friend who I was like, y'all don't celebrate Juneteenth? And she was like, what? Mm-hmm. And I was like,
what's that?
Oh shit. Like, this is not something that a bunch of people really even know about. And last year just became so commercialized because George Floyd's passing. I felt like anything Black just kind of stuck last year. And so when I heard this news, I got so excited because I was like, dang, something that was so important to me as a child is now getting like this national platform, national recognition.
Right.
And then, people started to say they shucking and jiving, this is performative. And I was like, dang, well, when you put it like that, it does get a little performative, does it not?
Okay, well, my experience with Juneteenth is quite different from yours, Leah. Mm-hmm. I did not grow up learning about Juneteenth. I didn't really know what Juneteenth, I had heard about it in bits and pieces and in snippets growing up. Mm-hmm. But it didn't really become a thing for me until I got to Howard University to start my journey as a college student in 2005. That's when it really kind of stuck. And my dad used to talk about it, but it was never a hardcore conversation. And I didn't really understand the importance or the significance of what Juneteenth meant for Black people until I got to college. And then it became, okay, I feel like I have to make up for all this time that I was not educated on the significance of this day. And I celebrated it sort of amongst my friend group and in my close family, sort of silently and quietly. But it was no one outside of my close knit group of Black friends really even knew what it was. And I would make a post when Instagram became a thing, and I would talk about it amongst my friends. And, there would always be people that were like, what's Juneteenth? What is that?
Yeah.
And it wasn't sexy. And now we're at this time where I feel like Juneteenth has become sexy. It has become something that's commodifiable, something that is packageable, and it's trendy and it's sexy. And not to say that there's anything wrong with that, because when things become a trend, when things become sexy, that's when the bandwagoners want to jump on and make it a federal holiday. So we gonna take what we could get.
Yeah.
Say, okay. But then I think it's important to after we celebrate the first commemoration of the federal holiday, it becomes, okay, you've done this, you've given us this, so what's next? What's coming after this? Because this is not going to just become a day for white people to stay home and play golf or get on crateandbarrel.com and buy a marble bowl and some fake oranges to put on your rich white people dining room table. It's not going to become that. It needs to be this new federal holiday needs to really become a catalyst for giving us the things that we have been asking for, voting rights protections, resources being reallocated from police departments to education centers and job training. What'd you say?
Anti-lynching laws.
Okay. Criminal justice reform and overhaul. There are so many things, like putting money into underfunded communities. There are so many things that Black people have been asking for decades, for centuries. And now you want to throw us this little bone on the federal level by making Juneteenth a holiday. Great. Okay, so now roll up your sleeves and let's do some real work.
Okay, can we have a real conversation? And this is not going to sit well with everybody, but I'm going to say my piece. I found it extremely funny that I think since the death of Trayvon Martin, Black people have protested loudly and boldly about police reform, police brutality, and it has been a community cause. And since Trayvon Martin was murdered in 2012, I think, because I was in high school or just going to college at that point.
Well, you so young.
Stop. Anyway, but at that time, that was when the outcries, nationally started to happen. Several presidents' terms have gone by, including Obama's. But the minute that the Asian community felt attacked, Stop Asian Hate started to trend, we instantly saw a bill trying to rectify Asian hate. And for me as a Black person, when you're throwing a federal holiday out there just to give us something, but there have been plenty of bills like the anti-lynching bill that has been on Congress's floor in front of them before. Y'all can unanimously vote to give people another holiday, but when we're asking for things that literally affect Black people's being,
the livelihood,
there's a problem with that. And at first, my glee from being childlike in my celebration of Juneteenth kind of blocked me from seeing that until I got on social media and started to really think about the repercussions of what we really did not receive in a facade of what this holiday was. And it was very telling when we watched our Asian counterparts,
brethren,
get their legislation immediately after attacks when Trayvon Martin passed away. And there has been a national Black outcry since 2012 with several sitting presidents watching police injustices, particularly on the Black community. And so for me, I'm having a hard time stomaching clapping for Joe and Kamala, because literally both of them have credited Black people and the Black community and Black women to the success of their campaign this year. So it is hard for last year. So it is hard for me to want to clap. And I, love Kamala. She is a Howard sister. I've supported her strongly and boldly, but now I'm starting to feel a way, because it's like, hey, when we're out campaigning, it's, hey, we see you, Black community. This is what we're going to do for you, Black community.
We're going to give you A, B, and C.
Right. But I was like, at first, okay, y'all, give them a second. They got 4 years to get in and shake some shit up. But then when they passed that Asian hate crime bill so quick, I was like, now wait a damn minute. because you all sat up here and said it was our backs that put the weight of this election on. It was not the Asian American community. It was the Black community. And for that, now this Juneteenth shit is starting to feel performative for me, because
a little bit.
I was rubbed the wrong way when I seen that bill. And not to say I condone Asian hate, because I do not. But I will say that they had like maybe 3 attacks nationally. I'm not saying that there haven't been more behind the scenes.
Right, we're not counting.
Literally watched videos of literally Black men just blatantly being killed for not much other than breathing.
And way before 2012, mind you. I mean,
well, right. But
didn't tell anyone. This has been our history from the dawn of time, since the beginning of the country.
Since we got here. Since we got here. Meanwhile, Asians were moving here to jump into the gold rush in California. But I'm going to keep that and move that right along. I'm just saying. Either way, I got on my soapbox. But the whole point of bringing this up was because of the fact that we did discover that Juneteenth is becoming a commodity. Because, child, I was scrolling on the interwebs. And Candiace, what they doing in these streets is crazy as hell. So someone posted... Y'all, not my company, has turned Juneteenth into an entire spirit week. And it is Monday through Friday. Let me tell you what this damn company has put. So, Motivational Monday. Start the week with your strong favorite statement t-shirt. Okay, I'm right. Okay, Sally.
Okay, June 15th.
Uh-huh.
Taste of Soul Tuesday. Share your favorite soul food dish or recipe.
Because who's taking Karen's recipe for anything for Soul Food Tuesday?
No, we don't want your potato salad, Karen.
Or your chicken. Okay.
Or your chicken.
I did eat a white woman's chicken when I was growing up, and it was not flavorful, but it was crispy. So I'll give her. Okay, now this is the shit, Candiace, where I said, okay, we got to talk about this on the podcast. It's called Wild Out Wednesday. Share your natural hair. The implication that my hair is wild, bitch, I'll beat everybody's hair. I'll beat everybody's hair. Everybody will get their ass beaten here. What?
Yeah, no.
Who made this? I know it wasn't a Black woman.
But that leads me to a point that I'll get to in a minute. But
okay. Yes. Then Thursday, Thankful Thursday, which I'm not even gonna lie, that sounds a little thank you, massa, to me, but whatever.
Thank you. You're
Share your favorite poem or quote from a Black author or artist and tell us what it means to you. I don't need Karen telling me about what Maya Angelou means.
Right. This is not about you, Karen.
Okay. Fun Friday. Rock your red, black, green.
Red, black, and green. Okay.
I'm done. Take it.
Okay. So this is my qualm. That's my word. Okay.
Word of the pod.
Word of the pod. Yes. I take issue with this Spirit Week as a whole, but Wednesday really underscores for me, okay, the lack of representation in places and positions of power. Because had there been a single Black person, man or woman, in the room when y'all was coming up with these shenanigans, we wouldn't be talking about no Wildin' Out Wednesday, wear your natural hair. The fuck is Karen about to do? Is she just gonna like wear her hair wet?
Yeah, but she gonna come in straight out the shower and be like, guys, this is my natural texture.
This is my natural hair. I don't like the idea that we are, again, commodifying Black things and making them trendy or cool or sexy or topics of conversation for the workplace. My natural hair is not to be made a spectacle of.
It's Spirit Week.
I don't need you to do that for me. Spirit Week? Come on, Spirit Week. Let's have spirit for our company. Let's have spirit for these raises that you need to give these marginalized people in your company. Okay. There's a lot of things we can have some spirit for, but we ain't gonna have no spirit for my natural hair. Okay, because on a regular day, when I come into the office and my hair is different than it was on last Wednesday, because Black women change our hair every week and we preserve the right to do that. Hello, you're looking and tilting your head and, oh, Felicia, I didn't recognize you. Oh, may I touch it? Oh my gosh, it's just so unique. Like, no, I don't want to talk to you about my natural hair at work. I want to come to work. I want to sit at my desk. I want to enter my data. And then I want to go to lunch. I want to come back. I want to have this meeting. And then I want to go home. Like, I don't want to talk to you about natural hair. Like that's not the point. That's not the spirit, no pun intended, behind Juneteenth.
Yeah, the microaggressions are real. I didn't even think about that part, but think of just that day alone. The microaggressions are child.
The discomfort that I don't even have a traditional work environment that I would have to go into, but just thinking about how I would feel if I were someone who worked for a Fortune 500 company and I had to go into work, I'm uncomfortable just thinking about what it must be like to have to go in on Wednesday. Because let's think about this. If I don't participate, what does that say about me to my higher ups who have taken out the time to create this spirit week? And if I do come in and I participate, what kinds of reactions am I going to get for wearing my natural hair in front of my counterparts, my employer, my coworkers? What reaction am I going to get? And this is distracting from me being able to do my job to the best of my ability. And I don't want to have to explain or talk about my hair to you. Mm-hmm. And it like you said, it just feels performative, and it feels like you're commodifying who I am.
Well, and the one other thing that makes this insanely dangerous is because while I do appreciate it being a holiday, because I do not celebrate 4th of July, like my godson is born on July 6th and we usually throw the celebration together, and I'd be like, you were still a slave day. That's what I put on the cake, and people have been mad. They've been like, you're out of fucking control, but it's the truth. I have said you were still a slave day because, bitch, don't get hyped. I put that on all the fucking my cakes. You should see the white women's faces that write in the bakery when I asked them to put that on the cake. I don't give a damn. I went to Howard. Once I went to Howard, my pro-black ass was so, my family was over my ass in Texas.
You can't shame me. Yep.
But with that being said, I'm an idiot. But no, what I was going to say is I think when we make a commodity of this day, we are really forgetting the disgusting nature of what it really stands for. There were people who were literally free, who were still working because they had no idea. And these white people had no intentions with their evil actions.
Ever telling them.
Telling these slaves, my ancestors, my Texan ancestors are doing that shit. Quite frankly, that's why I feel like Texas is the best black state, because we worked the longest. Okay, now we didn't know. Shout out to all your other states who got the memo, but we was the long haul slaves.
Y'all had 2 extra years. Yeah,
yeah, 2 extra years. So
that's crazy.
I think that when you turn it into this commodity of cuteness and spirit weeks, like, why was not one of them days to really sit and inform the community of what that meant and what that looked like? Having descendants of those same people talking and showing videos and making it a reading rainbow, pull the VCR out, and the whole class sits and watches. Because that's the problem when we make it cute and we make it a t-shirt thing. Black people have every reason to do what the fuck we want to do with our holiday. But when we talk about these corporate structures, because it's going to be Fashion Nova and Pretty Little Things being like, it's the liberation for me. 50% off sale. No, bitch. No.
I don't want to. That's going to really give me anxiety. A Juneteenth Fashion Nova sale, I'm not going to be able to cope. I'm not going to be able to cope.
It's the freedom for me. Take 21% off of the chains that we abolished.
Goodbye, Leah. Like, goodbye. No, goodbye.
Okay. It's the freedom for me.
Shirley Chisholm is turning in her grave.
Let me stop. Anyway, well, you know who might be turning, not in their grave, but alive? It might be Lala Anthony, because last week they announced that her and Carmelo Anthony are going to get a divorce. She filed. And we thank God that Lala got some sense now. I mean, Lala, sis, if he drug you through the mud one more time, sis, I wasn't going to know, like, because last week it came out that he was with another girl, like a blog. Shout out to
there was evidence, of him. That stairwell will get you, honey.
People gotta understand that the background says it all. If you fucking with a nigga, his mattress is on the floor, don't take a selfie with that mattress that's on the floor. Okay? If he got a great couch, don't take a picture on a great couch. Y'all got to take
couch
in different locations.
White walls only, bitch. White walls only.
Walls and no distinctive tattoos.
Yes.
Carmelo's sloppy at this point. He's giving Tristan Thomas.
Carmelo doesn't care.
Carmelo walked so Tristan could run. I mean, at this point, because I mean, Lala, I really think that Lala was definitely trying to do it for their son. I definitely think that.
Absolutely. Yes.
Definitely.
Yes. Because this is not the first or the second time that I can remember that I can recall that there was trouble in paradise. There were rumors that he fathered a child within their marriage. I don't know if it's true.
No, allegedly, because we're not getting sued on here.
Allegedly
right. Has his thigh baby, which Lala's still stuck by his ass. But I got lemonade on that. But that's not the time of the play. I'm just saying.
But you know what this is giving? It's giving knowing what we know, right? Knowing that she has endured his infidelity in the past, knowing that there is allegedly a love child in the world. Mm-hmm. This is giving, I have dealt with this enough. And if you do this one more, it's giving Beyonce, you try that shit again, you gonna lose your wife. It's very much giving Lemonade. So she said to him, I'm gonna give you this one more again. You got one more again with me. And if you can't hold it together, I am marching my Latina ass, my Afro-Latina ass down to the New York State courthouse, and I'm filing these papers. Okay. I'm gonna take that ring off, as Beyonce said. I'm going to take off this ring, and not because it happened so quickly. The pictures came up; they were all over the shade room, and Lala said, "Okay, let me put on these pants, and let me put on my marching boots. I'm gonna march my ass down to this courthouse and file these papers." That's what it gave for me. So I feel like she was ready, and she knew that she had done her time. She had put in enough time and effort into this marriage. And Carmelo is he's one of those men that is just not capable of monogamy. And being a world-renowned athlete doesn't help.
You don't gotta be. I just think that
he doesn't have to be.
And entertainers live in a totally different space when it comes to infidelity. I think that there's always that I think that every woman who deals with one of those men knows in the back of their mind that they're getting cheated on. It's just don't embarrass me, and don't show the world that you're embarrassing me. However, he embarrassed her, the alleged love child, and this leads me to ask the question because you're married. How many times can you cheated on before you're like, fuck you?
Now, okay, this is a very good question because Chris and I have had this conversation before.
Okay.
We've talked about what would we do if the other cheated? And Chris was saying nah, I would be out of here. Nah, I would be like, fuck that shit. I'm done.
Of course, man.
And yes, that right, because the male ego, hello. And what I said, and I will say this too, this is a precursor. Before I was married, before I was really truly in love and with the person that was sent to me by God to be my partner for life, before I was married, I was one of those women that was like, nah, a nigga cheat on me, I'm gonna cut his dick off and I'm leaving. I'm done. I'm gonna stick a bobby pin in his dick and then I'm gonna go. I was on that.
That's me.
That's a tip though. That's a tip. If he wants to cheat, get you a bobby pin when he sleep, stick it and twist it. I haven't had to do it yet, but Chris knows if he tries me. But no, in reality, I was that way before I got married. When you get married and you commit to someone and you build a life with someone and you see yourself having kids with them and you are raising children with them and you're building a home and a life, for me, it kind of changed. And then also, I think seeing good friends of mine go through infidelity. It teaches you that you don't know what you will do until you are in that situation. And that is why I try my best to refrain from lending my personal opinion to women and men who are going through situations of infidelity. I try to refrain from doing the whole, girl, you're stupid for staying. You need to go. I'm gonna help you pack your shit. I refrain from doing that because I have no idea what the parameters of their relationship are and what I would do if it were me. And so I say, I don't know what I would do. It would depend on a lot of different factors for me that would help me to decide what I would do. Now, I'm pretty sure that I would be angry. I know I would want to murk the shit out of the man, and I would probably attempt to murk him. But would I be willing to dissolve the marriage? I cannot say. But what I can say is that Chris is very much afraid, and he knows better. He knows better. He ain't gonna try me. But if the devil got in and he did try me, I'm pretty sure that I would try to beat his ass. But would I leave him? Like when the dust settled, would I leave? I don't know. I have no idea.
Do you believe that people are really meant to be monogamous in general? Because I've definitely seen people try to argue that as it comes to cheating, that like realistically, we're animals and that.
Yeah, and we're not meant to be monogamous.
Yeah.
I think that is something that sorry cheating ass niggas say to feel better about being sorry cheating ass niggas. That's just my opinion.
Right.
I mean, like, you don't compare me to an animal, motherfucker. Mm-hmm. Like we are clearly more advanced than animals. That's why we're human and we're not animals. Now there are very intelligent animals, but they're not human. Like don't whittle me down to the rationale of a marsupial. Okay, because you want to be a fuckboy. Just go be a fuckboy in these streets and do fuckboy shit. Don't try to rationalize fuckboyisms because you don't want to admit and own that you ain't shit. That's how I feel about that. I have a little anger in me because I've dealt with fuckboys that really just... Get my album. I talk about fuckboys on my album.
Ooh, coming soon. Drop.
Coming soon.
Maybe soon. Look forward. Well, listen, and speaking of the confines of marriage, this is a conversation that I had to bring to the pod, child, because folks was upset about Chandler Moore. I don't know if you've ever heard of Maverick City. They're like a gospel group. He's like the leader of the gospel group, and he got married a few weeks ago, and he actually posted a boomerang of he and his wife at their wedding, and she was bent over, throwing, right in a circle. And they looked like they had a good time, but let me tell you, these saints came for this man.
Honey, coming from the church, I know the saints was up in arms, honey. They were in prayer. It was prayer cloths going up and down, going up on a Tuesday. I know.
I mean, it was literally people like, you are the example. People look to you. You're doing worldly things, even though that's your white dude in private. But I'm also like, okay, so do y'all want us to be real about who we are, or are we supposed to? I don't.
What do you want? This is the confusing thing for me about Christianity, and really more so with the Black church, because I feel like this is definitely the doing and the rationale of the Black church, more so than just Christianity as a whole. We hold each other to such high and unrealistic, in my opinion, standards within the Black church. And we require a level of perfectionism that is just impossible to attain. And, let's quote the Bible. The Bible talks about the marriage bed and how it is undefiled. When you are married, once you are married under the eyes of God and your marriage has been approved under the eyes of God, you could bring 6 billy goats into your bed if that is what you choose to do. And that will be accepted in the eyes of God because you have followed and respected the covenant of marriage and married under God's eyes. So why is it a problem that I, as a married man or woman, am celebrating and embracing that I have sex with my wife?
Well, let me read one of the comments. This is what I've been looking for. Someone said, "Congratulations." The second photo, which is what is definitely inappropriate. The fact that we are at liberty to do all things doesn't make everything appropriate and edifying. Ministers do have the responsibility to ensure that what they put in public domains does not cause others to stumble. Honor comes with responsibility.
That's very cute, but unless he's standing in the pulpit, bending over his wife and, fiending sexual actions, you all need to untuck the panties from the cracks of your asses. You're really doing 3,000 much for me. Like, it's unrealistic to think. Like, you think Joe Osteen don't be having sex with his wife? Do you think that Pastor Jamal Bryant was not having, well, we know that he was having sex, but you know that these people, that was no shade. Like, I'm just thinking of pastors. Who's another pastor? You think that Bishop Michael
Child.
Like, these men, like, they have children. Right. Have we not been members of churches where the first lady was with child while we were coming to and patronizing the church? Do you think that was artificial insemination? You think that God came down and said, "Bing, let me implant you with a child"? No, they had sex. Well, so it's there, and I understand there are extremes. And if he was standing in the church and he bent his wife over, okay, maybe I would still say, oh, do what you do. Mm-hmm. But I can understand how someone might think that's inappropriate. But this man is on his page, and he is married and celebrating his love and his marriage with his wife. And he's young. He's young.
And let me just also say for the record too, because I feel like what not a lot of people are talking about from this whole situation is the fact that he proposed to this girl at the top of the year and they got married now. Okay, that flesh was a burning, bitch. They was like, okay, what the Bible say, cut off their own hand.
Child.
The Lord. Okay. He said, I'm not letting his hand take me out.
Get cut off. Okay.
And he said, it is holy and sanctified, acceptable unto you. I shall bend thy wife over and let her
bend thy wife over and let her feel thine member.
Okay.
In the name of Jesus.
Megan Thee Stallion thought shit was playing in the back of this picture. Okay? Hands on my knees.
This is hilarious.
Hands on my knees. Okay. Like, let this man, y'all tell everybody they need to wait till they be married. These people done got engaged and married in the same quarter of the year. Y'all let them display
let them live.
They're not making a sex
tape. Let them be happy. Exactly.
Okay.
Why are we upset?
And then what? People are saying it was degrading of the wife and that's inappropriate because it made the wife look. And I'm just like, okay, we're not about to do this harlot letter A adultery. Right. Like, no, she wanted to be bent over, and I'm sure she got bent over that entire night and the honeymoon and on.
Yes.
So now, Christian,
and right now, who's to say that they are not? She's not bent over right at this moment,
having sex right now.
Right now. And to that, I applaud. I give them a round of applause. Okay. Because God, the Bible also talks about the fact that sex for married people is a gift. It's not just for procreation. God gave us the gift of the pleasures of sex because that's a gift, one of the gifts of marriage. So they are just partaking in one of the gifts that God has bequeathed upon them for following his way and his word and doing things the way that he would have them to do. And you all are just mad because you are stale and dried up and nobody is trying to bend you over and put it on Instagram. And that is not God's fault.
And on top of that, let's not talk about how many people commented who was having premarital sex in the first place, because you just mad they married and are in. Okay, but we're not even gonna get into this.
My God today.
Next episode, we're actually gonna dive into the church, Christianity, and homosexuality, because I think that before Pride Month is over, we got to tap in conversation. And I think that
necessary conversations.
We got a good guest. I think there's somebody that we can call on who's going to make this conversation really good. So you know what? We're going to cut this episode short. We gonna wait, because I think that episode gonna have a lot of talking, and I think that folks they need to
get your ears ready,
get your heart
lubricate your ears. We don't want to over talk you today, because I just have a feeling that when you get three chatters together, three chatty Cathys together, it's a recipe for a long episode. So
Yes. Okay. Well, listen, make sure you guys watch this episode. Of course, you can always go back and look at it on YouTube. Make sure you go on YouTube and type in "So That's What We're Doing." You know what I'm saying?
Type it in. Get into it. Or if you can't, or you don't want to access us on YouTube, you can check us out on the podcast, available wherever you listen to your podcast. So Spotify, Google Play, Apple, wherever you listen. So That's What We're Doing pod, and go back and check out our previous episodes, because we run the gamut. We give you all of the shenanigans, all the craziness, a lot of serious conversations, a lot of serious chats too, about family, about just moving through life. So check us out. Follow us on Instagram at So That's What We're Doing pod. Like, subscribe, and definitely comment, because we really want to hear what you think, what your thoughts are on these episodes, what else you want to hear going forward, because we are here to stay, honey. So get into the things.
Oh, and follow us on Instagram at So That's What We're Doing pod, P-O-D. Make sure you follow us there and chat and keep the conversation going, because that's where you're going to get the clips and all the fun stuff. So make sure you follow us there, engage with us, have a good time. We love our So That's What We're Doing family. And we'll see you next Tuesday, because a good episode is on the way.
On the way. Peace out.